Hi guys, so today I am going to be cooking just some slow cooker lamb, very basic, because I'm going to be making some meal pots for the week. You just pop them in the freezer. I love meal prep because I work some shifts sometimes. It can be a bit awkward cooking and tiring, so very basic meal prep, just some slow cooker lamb, and I'm going to put that in some pots with just some veggies to hopefully this might inspire you to make some of your own. Okay, so these are the ingredients I'll be using today. I just happened to find this lamb in the supermarket. It was quite good value, so $2.83. It's quite a good size, so I'm probably going to go for 3 portions out of this. I know it will shrink, but that's okay. If you're doing keto, you'll know your appetite is not, or maybe is not as voracious as it used to be, so my portion sizes have dropped rapidly. What I'm going to do, I'm going to put it in the slow cooker, and I'm going to put it in a very light sauce. So I'm going to make that with some balsamic vinegar, which is actually quite high in carbs. So I'm only going to be using maybe a teaspoon or so of that, just to give it some nice acidity. You'll notice quite a lot of things I get are on with stickers on because I like them bargain. So please don't be offended. I am a bargain shopper. So I mean a little bit of that. And I'll be putting the ingredients on the on down below in the description. I've also got here some sugar-free maple syrup that I think from the US I bought to make some fat bombs, and it sat in the cupboard for a while. So I thought, you know, with the vinegar and together, it's going to make a real nice sweet and soury kind of dressing for the lamb. But you could use, say, chicken or even beef would be quite nice with this if you're going to put it in a slow cooker. Had this lamb. I've got a little bit of lamb seasoning, which is one off the shelf, but as I love rosemary so very much, I'm also going to add some rosemary in there. And you can't have lamb without garlic. Obviously salt and pepper, and a little bit of olive oil. So I'm going to mix this into a paste, like a little roux, and then I'm going to dice the lamb into quite big chunks, coat it all, and slow cook it. I'm thinking about 4 hours for this. It's not going to be too long. And that's it. And then the juices, there'll be a little bit of juice in there, so that'd be quite nice. It'd be quite a rich thing. So yeah, that's my plan for this. I'll have to kind of eyeball it though, and you know, just to make sure. I may also add in a little bit of stock if it looks a little bit dry. Obviously with slow cookers they can get a lot of moisture in there, but so I think I may put just a little bit of chicken stock in the bottom there, or vegetable stock, just to give it a little bit of you know, steam room. Yeah, you can cook this in the oven. Obviously I'd say put it on medium for, you know, a couple of hours. Just make sure the lamb's nice and tender, but I will be using my my Tefal slow cooker. So I think I'm just going to try to stick to 15 ml of balsamic, which for this particular brand is 2.2 grams of net carbs. Let's have a little look. Perfect. Now this maple syrup, I say it's imported from the USA, but there is actually a recipe to make your own. I think it was on Ruled Me. If I can find the link, I will try to put it below for you. Oh gosh, not going to do too much of this because obviously the strength, so that's just 5 ml there, just to give it some sugar. Yeah, so I'll add the rest of the ingredients, mix it all up. I think I'll do about the same of oil, not too much. The lamb isn't that fatty actually for this is a particular this is a neck shoulder fillet, so there is a little bit of marbling on there, so that's more just to bind everything together. I'll add the rest of the seasonings in there, and then I'll add in the diced lamb. Okay, so I've now mixed everything together. The garlic, just for your information, was about 7 grams, which is 2 to 3 cloves. Everything here is kind of whatever you would like it to be. I've never made this before. And it's one of those things where if you want like loads more garlic, if you want to add mint in there, if there's thyme you want to add in, anything you want to add to make it the way that your family like it, that's fine. I did in the end decide to put in the bottom of my slow cooker a little bit of just some cold stock, and this is actually concentrated stock with a little bit of water, because they don't sell cartons of stock here in the UK, so we have to make our own cubes or whatever. Just a little bit of moisture in there, just to give it a little bit of steam, and maybe a little bit of sauces at the bottom as well. Okay, so it's all in there, good to go. I'm not gonna lie, it smells really good already. The balsamic's really nice. Again, there's carbs in there, but I think it will make this give it a really good flavour. It's quite, this is just for me, so there is only 3 in there. If you want to add in anything else while you're cooking, if you want to have more lamb, different cut, if you want to add some veggies in, if you're at that point where you want veggies or you just fancy them, it's absolutely fine. I'm going to pop this in, and I think I'm going to go for 4 hours. I don't eyeball it though. If it needs more liquid, or a bit longer, I want it to be nice to fall apart tender. So yeah, hopefully I'll see you in 4 hours. So I had a look at this. I'm really happy with the way it's come out. Smells lovely, but I've changed my mind about the portion size. I've decided that it is 2 portions. It has shrunk quite a bit, so I will be dividing that up into 2. It's still pretty good carbs though. I think it's about 2 with all the herbs and stuff. I won't be having all that sauce because it's just too much for me. But you could add some gravy granules in there if you want to just thicken it up a little. But I'm not going to do that. So yeah, I will be putting it up into a meal pot. It smells nicer than it looks, but I've tasted it. It's really delicious, and the milk meat is really tender after 4 hours. So I'm very happy with that. Well, there you go. This is my prepped dinner. So I've got my lamb with a little bit of the sauce. I've not used it all, so the calories I've got is less than it should be because of the fat I've left behind. I've did some asparagus, and I've got some cream spinach as well for a change. So all this here is about 6.2 grams of net carbs, which is pretty okay for a nice light dinner. And I'll put the full macros at the end, and the macros will assume that you've had all of the sauce and all of the meat stock, which we may choose to. I have not, so I'll leave that with you. The thing I would change is I would have seared the lamb before I put it in the slow cooker, just to give it that nice sort of taste. But not that I've tasted it, it's really nice anyway. I'll probably have one tomorrow and put one in the freezer for emergencies, can't be bothered to cook time. Yeah, so I hope you enjoyed that. Hope it's inspired you to do something of your own similar. Really recommend getting these kinds of freezer, these tubs, because you can put your own dinners together very quickly. And they've got cute little lids. You can put knives and forks in there as well. They can freeze them. So if you are starting on keto, one of my tips is to invest in some good Tupperware, whatever you want to call it. So yeah, I'll be popping these in the freezer to have another time. Thanks for watching. Bye.